Hey guys, my name is Zoe, and today I'm going to teach you how to edit your photos to make them pop. It's great to just give them that extra vibrant touch, can really set them apart more than you'd really think. So I'm going to show you our example photo that we're going to be working with today. Here's the before. It's just an image that I took of the Grand Tetons a couple years ago on a trip there, and then here is the after. As you can see, obviously there's a lot more vibrancy, it just has much more visual appeal, and so I'm going to teach you guys how to create that effect using Lightroom. So for this project, we're going to be using Adobe Lightroom. It's part of the Adobe Creative Suite or Creative Cloud. There's a lot of different editing programs out there, obviously, but I really would recommend using Lightroom, especially if you're a beginner, just because it's really user-friendly. There's a lot of different tools that you can use to make your photos look amazing without too much, in-depth knowledge required. So, love Lightroom, and here we go. Okay, first things first, we're going to adjust the exposure of the image, which means the brightness. So we're going to turn it overall down, which is going to make it obviously a little bit too dark in some places, so we're going to have to bring up the blacks and bring up the shadows, which is already helping it a lot. Then we'll bring down the highlights, because this is all about creating different exposures, different contrasts within the image. So we're going to have to add some contrast here. You can see it's already starting to add that pop that we're trying to achieve. Now something else we can do is add a little bit of clarity, which will give it that rugged, mountainy feel, which is what we want for this kind of an image. Usually I'd say we need some saturation, but with this image you can see the way that the light is hitting those mountains already gives it so much saturation and natural beauty. So we don't need too much saturation. Might just add a little bit of vibrance, just to give it a little bit more of a pop, but we're almost good to go. Okay, so just a couple finishing touches we're going to add. We're going to give it a little bit of sharpening, which will just make it really crisp, give it that effect that we want. If you hold down your Option key or Alt on a PC, then you can turn down this masking right here so that anywhere that's white, that's where it will be sharpened. So it's called Smart Sharpening. So that way you're not going to make the sky grainy or anything, which is really good. We don't want to make the sky grainy. So now it just has a little bit more of sharpness on those mountains, which is a great effect that we want to achieve. And one last thing we're going to do here before it's all done is we're going to add some post-crop vignetting. And that's just going to make it a little bit darker around the edges, so we can just turn it down here. Obviously you could give it a ton, but we're just going to give it a little bit just to draw your attention to the middle here where the Tetons are, which is the focal point of the image. Okay, so just to review, this is what it looked like before. It's a beautiful photo, but just lacking, everything that needs to make it more visually appealing, which we were able to achieve in Lightroom. So here's the final result. As you can see, we added a little bit more contrast by adjusting the exposure with the shadows and the highlights. We added some contrast and clarity, and then we sharpened it just a little bit, added a vignette, and we're done. I hope you like it, and I hope you learned a lot from this video on how to make your photos more visually appealing using Adobe Lightroom. Thanks for watching!